and welcome to another week in our garden. Glorious sunshine today, clear sky. Yesterday torrential rain all day and probably tomorrow, but there is quite a breeze getting up and I do believe there's a storm coming through tomorrow, so there's going to be quite a bit of wind. It'll probably blow what's left of the tomatoes over, but it doesn't matter, we'll pick them up. Now today I'm going to start lifting the onions. I need to get them up because of this wet weather. We don't want them sat down here in the rain because they're not growing no more. So I've lifted a few to show you. I'll lift one or two on the next row and then we'll lift a lot and we'll take them up to the table and lay them out. Now I've lifted the first row, as you can see, and I'll lift one or two of the second row. Now remember, when you're lifting your onions, to use the fork and tease them out. Don't just grab the tops and pull them, because there's chances you'll break tops and let the rot in. While we've been waiting for them to mature a bit, looks like we've picked a weed or two up, so we'll have a bit of weeding to do afterwards. Just pull them out by the bulb block and give them a shake and lay them down. That's a fair sized onion, look. We'll just go, I'll do up to that one that's standing with you, and then we'll get these lifted and put in the wheelbarrow. Take them up. Just shake a bit of the soil off. The ground's awfully wet. Take that one and then we'll lift the lot. You see there's a weed or two got in them. Now I'll lift the rest of the onions and show you the crop laid out before we take it up to the table. A little bit of sun might just dry the roots a little for us. Just two more and we've got it. There we go. There's one. And the last one is there. There you go. That's all the onions lifted to the surface. I will leave them for an hour or so if I can, just to dry those roots a bit. But in the meantime, I'll be showing you what we're going to do with the garlic. So they'll be quite happy here. As long as it doesn't rain, we'll be alright. I have 4 here that we've dug up that are soft, they're rotten, they're going rotten. But they're not actually got white rot on them. And apart from that one, the roots were growing quite well. So I do believe that's more the weather we've had rather than white rot. I haven't really seen any the white rot fungus in them this year, but that could be it. But it's probably this wet weather we've had. They just don't like sitting in the wet when they're maturing. Now on our way up to the shed, Diane says she wants a few potatoes lifting, so we'll lift those. These are the second earlies. Now this is what's left now of this quadrant. Try and get it harvested this week, and then we can start preparing because for next year's crop then. But in the meantime, I do have a few beetroot I've popped in, and as you know, they put those beans in. Now the beans we put in, we've lost quite a few because I came down here one morning and we had mother partridge with about 4 young all in there pecking the tops of the beans off. So I've reset some more yellow ones this time, so we'll see what happens. They also are quite fond of the tomatoes, especially the yellow ones that are low down. Right, we'll try and lift some of these potatoes, see how we go. They haven't been cropping too bad actually. Let's see what we've got. As you see, we do have potatoes. We'll put them in this tray and then wash them before we take them up, but the ground is very, very wet. Look, that's all that rain yesterday. That's a good potato. A little bit of scab on them, but we can live with that. That's in the ground from years ago. Right, let's have a look. There's loads down here, yeah. There we go. I'll take the tops away and dry them and burn them. There's quite a few still down in, so I want to be careful. I don't want to push the fork through them because they are quite large. I think I've got it for now. I'll just loosen it a little bit more. Okay, yeah, no. I might have just skewered one. No. There's another one. Another one here. That's probably off next door, so but we'll take it anyway. I'm going to cover that now. Now that's that root dug. As you can see, they're quite large potatoes. We will be growing kestrel again. It seems to like this heavy land. Now while I was digging them, I was looking out for any slug damage, and I couldn't see any at all on this whole row here that I've been doing. We gave it 2 doses with Nemaslug this year, and up to now it seems to have paid off, because this land, as you know, does carry a lot of slugs, and there's none on these potatoes. Right, we'll go up. I'll wash the potatoes and me, and I'll show you what I'm doing as regards platting garlic this. Now we've finally got to the table. We've put the potatoes in some water to soak so they clean them a bit, because I don't want to send all my soil up to the house. I'll never get it back. Right, now garlic. Now this year I'm doing it a little bit different, because the old gardening hands are getting a bit stiff now, so I have a job to plat, etc., but I can do a little bit, so I'll show you what I've done this year. Now when you come to platting, if you have any like those two, obviously you're not going to plat those, so those will be used first. We'll put them in the sun, it won't hurt them. This is what I'll be doing this year, something very similar to this. Just hang it up with the loop. Now if you've got big ones, small ones, you can always just bind them together, look like that, and they'll hang nicely in your shed till you're ready to use. If you want to do it something similar to the way we do the onions, you can do them like that. A lot of these are quite big actually for platting, but they're fine. What I do is I use raffia. It's just grass. Remember, if you're tying though, it is only grass, so if you pull too hard it will snap. But that's what I use, raffia. And then what I've done here, look, I've just popped 3 together and started to bind them a bit. Getting too many shadows at that end, so we've moved here. I think the sun is getting quite strong today. So just figure of 8, anyhow you like, just bring them together and then make a nice tidy bottom to them with the raffia, look, by going round and round. You see, remember not too tight, but tightish, shall we say. If you pull them too tight, they just snap. And then when you've got it there, there's the other end of the raffia, so we'll just tie that off. That's enough. And then we'll just cut that off to tidy it up. There's another piece there, we'll take that all off. Now when you've got it this far, this has got a piece of raffia in it, but that's fine. If you see there's 3, so we've got 3 stems. So now this is where my hands aren't so good, so there's a lot of people out there who can do a lot better plaiting than me. Just plait them. It is quite, if a little bit comes up, don't worry, we'll tidy that up in a little while. Yeah, just keep going. Not the best of things to plait, but just keep going till you get towards the end like that. And I think you'll find if you tighten it up with your hand, that'll hold for a minute while we can get the raffia on this end. All these little bits, we'll cut those off when we finish just to tidy it up, and we'll probably take that off as well there just to tidy it up. So what I do, so when you get to the top, which I've already done one, so I'll show you, a little bit tidier than that one actually. Now this one, very similar, but I put 5 on this one, and it's sort of plaited a little bit more tidy than that one. So what we do now, the wind's blowing all my raffia off, we'll put a whip end on this end with the loop on so you can hang it up. So if you can remember how to do them, I find it better if you put a good twist in it as well. Twist your raffia and it'll hold together a little bit better. So there we go. Look, if we do that and then we leave a loop at this end and then start tying our way back, start wrapping. Little bit fiddly, but if I can do it, you can do it better. Try and keep your raffia tight together. Put the odd twist in it if you think it needs it. And then we'll twist our way, we'll loop our way back. Look. You can pull it slightly tight, but not too tight, obviously. Once you get it going, it's easier than what it looks, I think. There you go, look. We'll take that one up a bit and make it tidy. Can you see? Just keep going round. We're aiming for this loop here. Going to push it through there in a moment. I think maybe one more. That's it. Now we've got to get this raffia through this little loop there. And if you get it open with your finger and then twist your raffia around, fold it in half, that should go through that hole nicely. Look. You see? Pull everything nice and tight, and then all we do is pull the top up, which makes the whip tie, or whip end as they call them, and then push that back so it's tidy. A little bit more probably. There you go. We'll take that loose end off, just pull it underneath. There's our hook that we're going to have to hang it. So we need to get that up separate. or loop. It's not a hook, it's a loop, isn't it? But get that loop separate. Just wrap it around your finger for a bit, and then we'll cut that off. And then that one will be ready for hanging up. I don't think you'd want, if you're going to hang them in the kitchen or the larder, as people don't have larders as such now, but if you're going to hang it up the house, you wouldn't want more than 5. I would think 3 would be plenty, and then you can just cut them off as you want one. These will probably hang in the shed until Diane wants one, and then I'll hang it in the boot room. We have a boot room up there, and till she's using them, then she'll fetch another one. Now we've decided that with the storms coming tomorrow and 40-mile-an-hour winds, we're going to pick the tomatoes that are ripe, because I'm sure the plants will be blown over. As you can see, the tomatoes are well loaded with heavy fruit, so if we take this off, it'll lighten the load, so they'll probably hold up a little bit more in the wind tomorrow. So Diane and I will now set to and harvest the tomatoes, because as you know there's quite a few, and we'll get them into the boxes and show you what we've got. Now I'm just going to pick these few raspberries that are ready. As you can see, they're very large. We've had a few picks off them, but if we leave them, if the wind does get here tomorrow, these will be blown off, especially with the heavy rain. It just smashes the fruit off. So I'll quickly pick these. Now we've picked the raspberries, so the wind don't knock them about too much. Quite a few, quite large, and the Diane's favourite, so she won't let the wind blow them off. Now this is what we've picked today. We have the kestrel potatoes, we have the raspberries, very large, very nice, the garlic, which have been tied or braided, and a little bit of plaiting. They'll hang up in the shed as and when we can use them. Loads of tomatoes. We've got Gemma's Mark coming tonight with a load of manure, so he'll probably take a basket back with him for Gemma. These are the onions I've brought up, 1 wheelbarrow load. That'll do nicely. I shall lay these out in the shed. What we should do is shall lay the onions on the benches in the shed, because the rack I use, what I usually hang them upside down on, I've got the peppers growing on down in the bottom greenhouse. I needed to make a bench, so I made a bench by using the rack, but now I want the rack, I can't take the peppers off, so we'll lay them out, we'll be okay. Now that'll be it for this week. I hope you've enjoyed it. Many thanks for watching, and thank you so much for subscribing. We do appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Make sure you all take care now. Bye.